Hey guys, and welcome to the WiiMii Wii Game Tier List Extravaganza. I prepared a little list of over 40 Nintendo Wii games in which I am going to rank them based on how much I enjoyed them. This came about because I feel like I've seen a lot of tier lists about this kind of stuff, and I feel like a lot of times they omit certain games that I really love, and I feel like they're all kind of the same. I feel like original Nintendo opinions are kind of rare on the internet these days, and I think the perfect example is like Nintendo Direct prediction videos. I feel like I watch every single one of them, and they always predict exactly the same things. Anyway, let's get started. First on the docket is My Sims. This game I had a lot of fun with my siblings growing up, but going back now, there's no reason to play it. It's just a poor man's Animal Crossing. It's not very good at telling you what you're supposed to do, so there's a lot of like walking around aimlessly, and for that reason, it's going to the D tier list. Next up, Monster Hunter 3 Try. Not my favorite game in the world. You see, I got it, and then I played it for like maybe a half hour, but I thought it was so silly that you couldn't explore the world on your own. You had to constantly go back to the village and like choose a quest in order to go out and do things, and I thought that was lame, so I kind of put it down pretty fast. Honestly, that's going in D tier too. Not my favorite game. Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympic Games. This one kind of hurts my heart because I really wanted to love this game, and I really tried. I gave it such a big chance, but you can just definitely tell that it was made by Sega rather than Nintendo. It's just not very polished, and that's its biggest flaw. But it does have a lot of collectibles. There's a ton to do, and I love the I think they're called like dream stages, where you can play on like Mario Kart tracks or Sonic stages, and that is a lot of fun. But overall, it's gotta go C tier. I'm sorry. Mario Galaxy, this is another one that I'm kind of torn on, because its sequel is absolutely amazing and I love it. But I played Mario Galaxy 2 before I played the original, and so going back to it, I can't put my finger on it, but something just felt really off with this game, and it just didn't feel as polished. Maybe the level design might not have been as exciting, but for whatever reason, I just wasn't really feeling Mario Galaxy, so that's a C tier for me as well. Mario Brothers Wii. I didn't grow up with this game. I didn't have it growing up. And even at the time, like when I saw like even the original Mario Galaxy compared to New Super Mario Brothers Wii, it was just not nearly as exciting. So that's another C tier. Zelda Twilight Princess. This one I do not have on the Wii, but I have it on the Wii U, and I didn't really play it all that much. And one of the reasons for that is I don't like how like dark and like faded all the colors are. Because for me, one of the main things I love in video games is when they use bright colors. And this game is like faded and dark as it gets, especially for a Zelda game, which I wasn't really all about. So that's a B tier for me. It's a fine Zelda game from what I've played so far, but it's just not my favorite. I'd much rather play Wind Waker. Although you could say that about pretty much any game. I'd rather play Wind Waker than pretty much anything. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, another game I don't have, so this is just based off of like playing it at friends' houses. But what I played, it's a solid Smash Bros. Game, but nothing too exciting. But the Subspace Emissary mode looks absolutely amazing, but I haven't played that yet. So this is just based off of my experience, and with that in mind, that's going in the B tier. But if I did play Subspace Emissary, and I'm sure I'll get it eventually, it would probably be like A+, because that just seems amazing. You know what, let's just do all the Lego games. Just do them all right now. So the first is Lego Indiana Jones, and this is my least favorite of the Lego games I grew up with, and so that's going in B tier. And then my second favorite, I love Lego Batman. That's a classic. It's going in A-. And then my favorite of the Lego games I grew up with is Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga. You can't go wrong with that one. It's got like 6 movies that it represents. It's got like a million characters that you can play as. And I think it's even better than the Skywalker Saga, because I hate the weird third-person perspective. I feel like the camera is way too zoomed in to my character in order for me to properly see things, and it annoys me. And so I like played the game for maybe an hour and then just dropped it because of pretty much that reason alone, which was very unfortunate. Rayman Origins. Now this game kind of suffers from the Mario Galaxy syndrome as well, where the second game kind of just made the first game absolutely irrelevant. So I'll give it a solid B ranking, but nowadays I'd definitely rather just play Rayman Legends than Rayman Origins, because it's just infinitely better. Wii Fit. So once again, this game I will never ever play because Wii Fit Plus and Wii Fit U are infinitely better. So I haven't really played this game, honestly. I have it, but I haven't played it. And from what I understand, it's the same as Wii Fit Plus, but it doesn't have like the Woohoo Island stuff. which is like the exact reason why I love Wii Fit Plus, is how you can like explore Woohoo Island in some of the games. But even without that, it's still an amazing game, so it's going at B. We're giving it a B, but then, I'll elaborate more when we get to Wii Fit Plus, because Wii Fit is one of my favorite things ever. Now, this game is another game that just hurts me. It has the makings of like my favorite game ever. But in execution, I hate how you have to do pretty much everything perfectly in a level in order to win. But if you mess up one thing and it leads to your death, you have to do the entire level over again. And these levels are not like super short little things. There's these giant elaborate puzzles that can take a while to complete. Like, it's very specific in what it wants you to do, and if you don't do it exactly the way it wants you to, then oftentimes it can end up in a death. But outside of that, it has amazing characters, it's got a lot of charm, and it really is an amazing game. But because of that, it's just really annoying to me. I think this game is annoying. A C tier for me. We Play. The tank game is the entire reason to play this game. And for that alone, and just how iconic it is, I'm just gonna do B tier for that one. Wario Land Shake It. This game is interesting because I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, but when people do talk about it, they talk about it as if it's like this magnificent hidden gem, one of the best platformers ever created. And honestly, I don't think it's that good. Like, I think it's an amazing platformer. It's got a lot of charm. Wario is amazing as ever, but I just didn't have as much fun with it as like Donkey Kong Country or a Mario platformer. So this is just gonna be, let's put it A-. It's very good. I like Wario Land Shake It a lot. Wii Sports, obviously, that is going in the B tier, because much like a lot of the other games that I've talked about this far, there's really no reason to go back if you have Wii Sports Resort. The tennis is absolutely amazing, but that's really all it's got going for it. If I'm playing the baseball, I'd rather play it on the Wii U, and then golf and everything else, I'd rather just play on Wii Sports Resort. So for that reason, it's B tier. But for all the memories are all S tier, obviously. But the game itself, that's a B tier. Spore Hero, you guys are gonna hate me for putting this above Wii Sports, but honestly, that's an A+ for me. I think the Spore creature creator is just so much fun. I think it's so much fun to be able to build your own character like that and then have him like explore this big open area. And it also has surprisingly good music. I'm pretty sure all the music is orchestrated. Like, before I did the little short about it, I completely replayed the game again, and I think it holds up, even though it has a lot that's like very unpolished. Like, the base game in the overworld where you're exploring is very polished and very fun. But then they have like these little cutaway mini games which are so unbelievably unpolished that they like borderline on glitchy and unfinished, that kind of sour the experience. But even then, I still have a lot of fun with it. So that's A+ for me. WarioWare Smooth Moves. Now, you guys are going to be mad at me for doing this. I haven't even played this game, but just from what I've seen through like little gameplay snippets here and there, I can already tell that once I finally get this game, it's going to be one of my favorites of all time. And so this is just a tentative placement because I haven't played it yet, but there's no way it gets less than an A-. There's no way. We Play Motion. This one is a fun one. I feel like a lot of the games I don't really care about, but like the 2 or 3 that I do love, I really love. So that's an A- for me. Kirby's Epic Yarn. So this is one that I initially was very disappointed with. To me, like, the copy abilities are the main reason why you play a Kirby game. The most fun part is just that you get to like steal your enemy's powers. But with Kirby's Epic Yarn, they got rid of that, and I didn't know that going in, so I was very disappointed with that at first. But then as I played through the game, I'm like, okay, this is kind of growing on me. And then over time, it became one of my favorite Kirby games. With that in mind, I think that's an A- for me. Pokemon Battle Revolution. When I first got this game, I didn't have a DS Pokemon game. And if you don't have a DS game, you only get like 12 Pokemon that you can play with, and there's no way to get more. Even with that, I thought it was a lot of fun just doing Pokemon battles and seeing like the big epic animations on the big screen rather than a little DS game. So I had a lot of fun with it. And then eventually we had like a babysitter that was watching us one time, and she had a DS and she brought it with her, and she had Pokemon. And then she transferred all of her Pokemon into our Pokemon Wii game. And so then we had like Dialga and a bunch of other cool Pokemon. So that was pretty awesome. A- rating from me. Punch-Out. This one's really good, but it's also just boxing. So I'll put that in A-. But the boxing is really fun, especially if you're not just like flinging your wrist like how most people play Wii Sports, but if you actually try to get into it and pretend like you're actually boxing, it just makes you feel like you're actually boxing. It's very fun. And I feel like there's a lot of strategy involved. Like it's not just throwing punches willy-nilly. You gotta actually think about it and respond to your enemy's attacks. So Punch-Out is very fun. I very much recommend it. And then Lego Rock Band. Who could forget this one? For me, it's bordering on S, but I'm gonna put it in A+. Let me give you some context for this one, because I know when a lot of people talk about Rock Band, Lego Rock Band is like the joke game that no one ever takes seriously. But for me, I went to this after school program as a kid, and at this after school program on Fridays, one of the people working there would bring their Xbox 360 and Rock Band with them so that we could play it, because most people didn't have homework on Fridays. So then after that, me and my siblings, we were like begging our parents, like, come on, you guys gotta get this game for us. It turns us into rock stars. It's the coolest thing ever. But then, our parents, they said, I'm not sure about this one. Some of these songs have some unholy messages in them, so I don't know if this is the best thing for you, sport. But when Lego Rock Band came out, it was only rated E10+, so we were finally allowed to play Rock Band. So that's why I love it. And I think it's just more awesome because it's Lego. Like, why is that something people don't like? Like, why is this not everyone's favorite? Anyway, I digress. Wii Music. Okay, this is just the same thing again. It's another game that a lot of people just throw under the bus for no reason. Honestly, it's bordering on S tier once again. I think I'm gonna go A+ again. There's a lot of fun to be had with this, and they got a lot of fun songs too. Like they have September, they have a few Nintendo tracks that are a lot of fun, and then they have the Mi Maestro mode where you can conduct this giant orchestra that plays the Hyrule Field theme. That in itself is such a powerful moment that just brings a smile to my face every single time I do it. It's so much fun. Even with friends, it's a lot of fun to make a little album with your friends, and then you like fight over who gets to put their face in front of the album cover. I love Wii Music, and so that is A+, maybe even S. Skyward Sword. This is a great Zelda game. I'll put it A+. I'll put it A+, because I think the story is absolutely amazing. Maybe even the best Zelda story in the entire series. I love how Zelda and Link feel so much more alive and real this time around. Their personalities are in full effect in this game, and you can feel like a genuine connection between them. She's not just like a princess that was captured, she's like an actual friend, and you actually see that bond throughout the game. Groose is amazing for obvious reasons. The one thing that I didn't like, it wasn't the motion controls. I thought the motion controls were fine, but the thing I didn't like was how there's only 3 main areas in the entire game, and 2 of them are pretty much exactly the same, because one is a lava area and the third one is a desert area. And I feel like the lava area just feels like the desert area, but with lava. And so there's not a lot of distinction there. So there's really only 2 main areas in the entire game, but the music and the story make up for it. Metroid Prime Trilogy. I think just like the gameplay loop of exploring a big open area and finding new abilities with which to go back and unlock new areas is one of my favorite gameplay loops in all of gaming. And I feel like that's so satisfying and fun that it just makes all the games in this collection a ton of fun to go through. So that's an A+, easy. Wii Party. Out of all the Wii series games, Wii Party is one of my favorites. I think the like around the world mode or whatever it's called, that one's a lot of fun. And then they have these, I think it's called House Party, where the game isn't on the TV. It's more of a game facilitator, where like there's one mode where you have to like hide the Wii remotes around your house and have someone find them, and then the Wii remotes will beep to kind of give them a hint to where they are. That one's a lot of fun, and they have a few different modes like that, where it's more of a game facilitator than in game like Mario Party, where you actually play it on the screen. And those are a ton of fun and really interesting and innovative, and so that's going A+ easy. You know what? More A+'s right here. Epic Mickey 2, and then let's just throw the original Epic Mickey there too. I am a huge Mickey Mouse fan. I'm not even a big Disney fan, but Mickey Mouse specifically, I absolutely adore. And to have a game where Mickey is front and center, and in such a like interesting scenario where it's like a dystopian Disneyland, is so much fun. And then Epic Mickey 2, I think a lot of people say it's glitchy and unpolished, and I think both games are kind of unpolished. They're a little rough around the edges. But if you're the kind of person who can enjoy simple fun and doesn't get too annoyed over things like that, then I think you'll have a lot of fun with these games. And Epic Mickey 2 is fun especially because it has these cool cutscenes which have like these really cool animation style to them, and it's a musical, so there's a lot of cool musical numbers in there. And obviously just the fact that you can now play Epic Mickey with a friend. Like over the summer, I went through the game with my little sister and we had a ton of fun with it. So Epic Mickey, you can never go wrong. Donkey Kong Country Returns. I think it's time to finally utilize this S tier. Donkey Kong Country Returns is the greatest Donkey Kong Country game. I think it's so much fun. I think it's so amazing how they managed to translate this little Super Nintendo or GBA game into this giant big budget home console Wii game. And I also got it on my birthday, so it made it extra special. And so yeah, Donkey Kong Country Returns, you can never go wrong. Mario Galaxy 2, another S tier. The first big Mario game I ever really played, and it just blew me away. I love the orchestral soundtrack, having Throwback Galaxy, the music in that, oh my goodness, the big band jazz in that just makes my heart go numb. Oh my goodness, it is amazing. So yeah, there's the music and then all the amazing power-ups. Having Yoshi, that's all you really need. It's an amazing game. I could go on forever. Super Paper Mario, one of the best, if not my favorite, Paper Mario game. I think the story in this game, obviously the story, it's one of those stories that actually makes you feel things, for sure. Especially at the end, if you're not in tears, you have no soul. I also like how it's not turn-based. I'm the kind of person who feels like turn-based battles are a little tedious and I'd rather just get it over with and hop on their heads and it be done. For those reasons, and also just all the wacky, fun characters and all the bright visuals. Pikmin 2, S tier. Original Pikmin, S tier. You obviously cannot go wrong with these games. Pikmin on the GameCube was actually the first game I ever played in my entire life. And I think just the world of Pikmin is so mysterious and charming and fun and stressful and amazing. And now that I'm talking about Pikmin, if you guys haven't seen Arlo's like 4-hour review of the original Pikmin, you definitely need to do so, because especially as someone who grew up with the Pikmin series as like their first game they ever played, that entire video just absolutely made my entire year. I was smiling the entire time I watched it. Thank you, Arlo, for making that. Metroid Other M. Obviously, Metroid Other M is going into the S category. Yeah, I said it. I know a lot of people think that this game is lame because it has a dumb story, and although the story does have its dumb moments, Samus talks way too often in this game. And it's especially annoying when the original Metroid Prime trilogy is like a masterclass in the idea of show don't tell, whereas Metroid Other M is like the exact opposite. Like there's a moment where I think her like best friend falls off into a pit of lava and dies, and it's this very powerful moment with a lot of emotion, and then it like zooms in on Samus's face and you can just feel the emotion and the intensity of the moment. And then she goes on and talks like, yeah, I was really sad when my friend died. And it's like, oh my goodness, why do you need to spell it out for us like that? We know you're sad. Your friend just died. I like the more direct story because in Metroid Prime, you kind of had to like scan everything and kind of piece the story together for yourself. And I kind of prefer a more direct story like in Metroid Other M. But there are definitely moments where Samus could just have not said something and we would have still had the same effect, if not even a better effect. But other than that, I think the gameplay is where this game really shines. I love the dodging mechanic, and I love how it's 2D, 3D Metroid. And then when you point the Wii Remote at the screen, you get the first-person view like in Metroid Prime. That's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of cool like finishers and stuff. It's a very big budget Metroid kind of feel. So I think that's an amazing game that does not get enough credit. Mario Super Sluggers, yet another S tier. I love the story mode in this game. I think the other Mario sports games that have story modes, they just don't capture the same feel as this one, because this one is not like, it's not a set of challenges. You have these little open worlds where you can run around and talk to people and you recruit different members, and I feel like just the setting of that and how like you can actually control your character, it's not a world map or it's not like a little challenge select, make it feel a lot more, I don't know, it's a lot more exciting and fun for me. And then Wii Sports Resort, do I even need to tell you where it's going? Easy S tier. One of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time. I love the island flyover mode, especially exploring Woohoo Island, collecting all the eye points. And fun fact, I actually collected every single stamp in the island flyover mode, which means I collected every eye point at least 3 times for every time of day, and I popped every single balloon in the entire game as well. So I absolutely love that game, and I cannot get enough of it. I love the basketball game, I love swordplay, I love wakeboarding, power cruising. You really just, there's not a moment of this game that doesn't just make me smile the entire time. And then going off of that, Wii Fit Plus, which allows you to explore the island even closer on foot or on a bicycle, just makes the experience all the better. And then I also love, there's rhythm boxing, which I loved, and there's the Kung Fu mode. That's really fun too. A lot of fun to be had in Wii Fit Plus. Another easy S tier. Okami. Let's put it on S tier. I haven't played the Wii version, but I played it on the Switch in HD, and it is absolutely amazing, and I imagine that the Wii version is pretty much the same thing. I love the wacky, wild, nonsensical characters in this game. I love how it's like an open world adventure game. I feel like adventure games are very hard to come by, like Zelda style open adventure games. And then Rhythm Heaven Fever. Like Okami, it has the wacky, nonsensical characters, and then I feel like even compared to Rhythm Heaven Megamix, I think I prefer Rhythm Heaven Fever, because even though Rhythm Heaven Megamix has a lot of the same minigames, I feel like it also has a lot more duds. So even though it has more good minigames, you also have to get through the duds in order to see them, but Rhythm Heaven Fever is like rapid fire, amazing minigame after amazing minigame. Mario Kart Wii, the greatest Mario Kart game in the entire series. I feel like the tracks in Mario Kart Wii are a lot more dynamic and exciting than in the other games, even in Mario Kart 8. Like in Mario Kart Wii, they have so many tracks where there's a lot of moving parts that change throughout each lap. Like, you know, in Delfino Square, you have the drawbridge that opens and closes. And then in like Toad Factory, the little sides of the ramp go into the mud and out of the mud. And you have to kind of adjust your trajectory in order to account for that. And then obviously Grumble Volcano, where the entire stage just crumbles before you. So things like that, having the tracks being more dynamic, makes the games far more exciting than even Mario Kart 8. And then you got the amazing character selection. I feel like you can pretty safely say that Mario Kart Wii has the best character selection of any Mario Kart game. If we're not including Tour, because that's just not a fair comparison. But yeah, and even the music. I feel like the music in Mario Kart Wii, although I do really love the big band feel of Mario Kart 8, I feel like Mario Kart Wii's soundtrack feels very Mario Kart, and it's very upbeat and fun. You can never go wrong with Mario Kart. And then Xenoblade, another S tier. I'm not huge into RPGs, but I love how the battle system isn't turn-based. It's very active, and it's honestly pretty simple if you choose to ignore a lot of the more minute complexities. And then obviously, the story is the main reason you play it. And just having these giant open worlds to explore is really fun. And with that, I think we've got it all wrapped up. Here is the definitive Nintendo Wii game tier list. Was I wrong? Was I right? Am I stupid? Am I an idiot? Or do you agree completely with me? Let me know in the comments. And then if you want to, you can subscribe, you can like the video, you can do whatever you want. Oh yeah, and if you want to watch my Christmas special, I'd really appreciate it if you did that. It'd really mean a lot to me. I took a lot of time making it. It was a labor of love. So if you want to see that, you can just go to my channel and it'll be like one of the first videos you see, I'm sure. And I think we're done here. I think we got it all wrapped up in a nice little neat bow. So I'll see you guys later. Have a very Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or what else is there? There's Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate, have a very merry one of those. And I'll see you next time. God bless.